Hello, and welcome to Sea of Thieves. If you are a brand new pirate, then this video is for you. I am Cap Cabbage, and I am going to be making more and more Sea of Thieves content, because as I've been selling the seas lately, I've noticed that there are a lot of new pirates, and I think that is super awesome, and I want to give you some fun little beginner tips and tricks, because I've been playing since the game came out, and I want you to be able to enjoy the game from the very get-go. So, we are here on Tri-Rock Island, or Isle as it is, and we have a few enemies here, and we've got a few situations to talk about. So this is actually a pretty good situation. Over there you've got the ocean crawler fighting a captain skeleton, as well as this annoying little eel guy here. These are all ocean creatures, and they primarily take more damage from the Trident of Dark Tides, which we can get into later. For now, I'm just going to get rid of them because they're in the way. This guy will shock you if you get too close. You got to dodge there, wait till he's distracted. Block! And I still got hit by that, which is unfortunate. And you will get shocked like that if you are not careful. They will drop loot sometimes, so they are always worth fighting. So, a few things. When you first get to an island, and you are pulling up and you're sailing from your outpost, which I came from Galleon's Grave over yonder, you will most likely be very tempted as a brand new pirate to drop the anchor, right? And that's fine. If you're not used to stopping at an island yet, dropping anchor is totally valid. It's a great way to get where you want to be and stop where you want to stop. However, if an enemy ship comes, it's a terrible spot to be in because you can't just drop sails and go. So, my advice for all you lovely new scallywags out there is to raise your sails. More people that raise it, the faster up it goes. And raise your anchor. Because now, if an enemy ship comes, you can quickly dart to your ship and get out of here. Granted, I'm also pointed at the island, which is not ideal, so we'll rotate that a little bit, and you'll listen for the wheel clicks. Hear that thudding? That's the indication that your wheel is centered, and it will not rotate. Unless you get into a storm. But near an island, the storm doesn't rotate you anymore like it used to. So, lots of enemies in the seas. You also got the fun crab guy here. We're not going to bother him. Did he kill that captain? Ooh, he did kill the captain. This is a TNT barrel. If you're on a controller, I'm sorry, I don't remember all the controls, but if you are playing with mouse and keyboard, left click lights it, right click turns it off. X is to drop it. Okay? I'm gonna die. If you are on fire, just go in the water. Always helpful to have a bucket too on you, because if you do catch on fire, you can put yourself out. And always have food, which I failed to grab from my ship, but this island has plenty of supplies for me. Over here you can see that that skeleton captain dropped not only a gold pouch, but skeleton orders and a villainous bounty skull. So now that you have accrued, or obtained, I should say, your first bit of loot, you can take it back to your ship. Now, you may think, oh, it's on my ship, it's mine. This loot is not yours. This loot is not yours until you have turned it in over there at an outpost, or to the Reaper's hideout, which is way over there somewhere. So just keep in mind that nothing in Sea of Thieves belongs to you until you have turned it in. Alright, let's see. We got a map from that, and typically it will be on the island you are on when it comes from a skeleton captain. And as you can see on the map here, you can also zoom on your maps. You may not know that. That is the F key when you are on mouse and keyboard. I'm sorry, I don't know what it is on controller, but you can look it up in your settings and see what it is to zoom on the map under controls. And the maps always face north, so if you ever get turned around, you have a compass. That's north, and the map is north, facing north. So we know that the treasure is over here, which is west. And by this rock, and as you can see, am I in the wrong rock? Nope, this looks like the right rock. This is not the right island, is it? Yes, it is. I'm going crazy. All right, you see this little spot there? That's a tree and a bush. You see the bush and the tree. Go a little bit over, and in between this rock and the big rock is the X. So we should be able to go right here and dig. And sometimes skeletons will spawn when you dig up treasure. If you have a sword, which I recommend you do, some people like to double gun, and that's their choice. You can hold block, and you can actually jump back with your jump button, which is space on keyboard. And then you want to hold down the attack button while blocking to get rid of all these skeletons in one fell swoop. I went to the water, hold on. So you hold attack and push forward and boom. See that? Got them. They're all dead. You can also utilize that same motion if you hold block to sword lunge a little bit further. Now, if you don't hit anything, you notice I could not move for a second there. So if you don't hit anything, you will get kind of stunned for a second. So when you're fighting somebody, it can be very dangerous to sword lunge unless you know that you're going to hit them. This is a ritual skull. We don't need to talk about that right now. You can learn about that later. For now, I would just turn it in and gives you some doubloons, which is the alternate currency in Sea of Thieves, outside of gold and your Emporium coins. And oh look, we have more friends. Pretty typical. If you hear that sound, hear that? Click, click, click. Hear that? That is a sound setting that you can enable. Oh, that's right. Oh, he's trying to come in. Okay, I'm going to hide down here for a second so I can show you. So if you go into your settings and you go into audio settings, there is a wheel turning sounds, which I don't like. It's very distracting. But here's enable aim assist audio. So if you want to know that you are most likely going to nail that shot, it makes that sound there. Can be helpful when learning kind of where the hit point is. See, I'm above him there, not going to hit him. There, I'm going to hit him. So, but you should see that X to indicate that you successfully hit your shot. Yeah, I'm going to get rid of him because he is probably going to kill me. There we go. So, did we get a gem from the Crabman? We did not, and that is okay. That happens. Over here, another one. Welcome to Sea of Thieves. This is the other enemy that is of the ocean crawler breed. There are 3 in total. And that was the last one. Did we get a gem? No, we did not. All right. This here is a rowboat. Rowboats can be very handy. They typically always have supplies, so always check those, especially if you're not going to take it with your ship. You can attach a rowboat to your ship, which is super useful. In this situation, we have a cannonball rowboat, or a cannon rowboat. This boat allows you to dock it to your ship and have an extra cannon on the back, depending on which way you've docked it. That can come in handy a lot. In case you don't have a good shot with your front cannons, you could always utilize this one in the back. The most useful thing you can do with a rowboat, though, is if your ship is sinking or you just don't want to take your loot on your ship, you can put it here, drop the rowboat, and row on over to the nearest outpost. So if your ship is sunk, it's a great way to secure your loot and get it back where it needs to go. There are 2 other types of rowboats. There's the rowboat with No Attachment, which is the base rowboat that came out when the game added rowboats. Not when the game came out, when they added rowboats. And there's also a Harpoon rowboat, which will have a harpoon similar to that one on the front. So that's how you get loot. That's how you kind of basic ship maneuvers for getting to an island. Some of the enemies we have seen, not all of them. There are others. If you swim in the water for too long, you may meet a shark or a siren. Always check barrels on islands. This item that I just got, this is bait. It is most useful when fishing. Fishing is also in Sea of Thieves, and it will tell you in the description which fish like which bait. So those are for battle gills and devilfish, and these are for stormfish and ancient scales, and these are for wreckers, wild splashes, and plentifins. So if you pull out your fishing rod, and then you hold your wheel button, which is Q if you're on keyboard, and you push the bait key, now you can select the bait. So if I grab these earthworms, and I throw my line into the water, soon enough it will attract a fish. We will do a whole other tutorial on how to fish, but that's the basis of it. Anyways, as you can see, there's a lot to pick up, but that's kind of the basics. You've got your 2 different weapons you can have at any time. You can choose what you have. You can choose if it's a pistol and a sword, or a blunderbuss, or the Eye of Reach, which is like your shotgun and your sniper. They all have their own functionalities, and we can kind of cover more of what those are later on, but in general, this is for up-close combat. This is for mid-range combat. This is for up-close combat. And Eye of Reach is for far-away combat. Getting those shots from far off. So yeah, if you have any other questions about how to play Sea of Thieves, let me know in the comments below. And I can't wait to see you on the seas, all you lovely new players. It's so exciting to meet new players on the seas that have just a fresh bit of excitement. It just adds so much to the game. So thank you for joining Sea of Thieves and keeping it alive for all of us who love and adore this game. And with that, Cap Cabbage is out. I will see you next time.